What are you watching? One of my Facebook friends just made a video on politics. Is it good or is it cringe? I'm not sure. According to the Canberra Times poll of over 7,000 people, the three most important issues are climate change, healthcare and corruption.
Mr Morrison, have you seen any corruption on your side of politics in your time? And
No, I haven't.
never? No wrongdoing?
No.
This is basically going to be one long.
Compare the pair. Same age, same income.
Let's look at Scott Morrison's voting record.
I vote for the party, not the man.
The Liberal Party ranked last out of 57 countries on climate policy.
We weren't just singled out as the worst performing, but Australia got the lowest score possible, 0.0. Not even 0.1. We're losing to Bulgaria. Who loses to Bulgaria? Why? They explained. The Liberal government did not attend the UN Climate Action Summit. Are you coming to the meeting to help save the world? Nah. You got something on? Would that make you feel better? Doesn't matter now. The Liberals have a plan. It has net zero details in it. Just because they won't tell me any details about this plan doesn't mean it's complete bullshit. His party have been shutting down climate research for years and firing the scientists that had the balls big enough to say, what should we do about climate change?
Well, it looks like this is the end.
Yes, we should do something. It's a bullet that fires you. Anthony Albanese doesn't have a voting record of someone who, every time they see an ecosystem, makes this sound.
His voting record looks like this.
You said you'd talk about the parties, not just the person on top. Labour do something shocking. They actually provide details on their net zero plan for 2050. What's the plan? Here you go. Thank you. Any other response would have been weird. They don't have a history of stalling action on climate change.
It is not in Australia's interest to ratify the Kyoto Protocol.
Compare the pair.
Labour also made a carbon price, which was working to lower CO2 emissions, and, if it wasn't killed by the Liberal Party, would have lowered electricity prices now. And Labour's climate change policy is
Significantly more ambitious than the Morrison government's highly insufficient interim 2030 target. Also with Labour, we would actually meet our obligations for the Glasgow Pact. Scott Morrison, when he wasn't raising the price of medicine, was told in July 2020 by Pfizer that they would give him as many vaccines as he wanted. And he said, nah. Health Minister Greg Hunt was asked, why did they do this? And he answered with,
medical advice. Medical advice. That's why we did it. That's why we rejected the vaccines in a pandemic.
but when you ask UNSW Professor of Strategic Health Policy, what advice? He said the government rejected the offer because
Not buying them saves money.
Labour under Whitlam made Medibank in 1975. The Liberals promised not to touch it, and then they destroyed it in 1981. Then the Labour government under Bob Hawke made Medicare in 1984, against the Liberal Party's wishes, and they've been promising to destroy it ever since. Fast forward to today. 900 items were reduced or deleted from Medicare benefits. The Liberal Party was making these changes so rapidly that the president of the Australian Medical Association said,
Carl, chill.
when a bunch of people will tell you that the Liberal Party won't touch Medicare, ask the current Minister for Health, Greg Hunt, already announced his intention to do away with Medicare. It gets better. Greg Hunt said we should opt for a US-style health system. May as well decapitate everyone with diabetes.
Yo, son, come on. Yo, Omar coming, man. Oh, shit.
Voting for these people is like seeing a guy say,
I'd never kill a baby while you're looking. Can I hold the baby?
and you going, The National Disability Insurance Scheme, the NDIS, provides funding for people with disabilities to help make their lives easier. That means funding for carers to look after kids with autism, so the parents don't have to. But recently, a couple people have been losing their funding. The president of People with Disability Australia said, we run a group with 56,000 people in it, and from our numbers, it's probably at least half of them that have had their funding cut. But don't worry, because
Minister for the NDIS, Linda Reynolds, says there have been no cuts to the scheme. Jared's NDIS funding for carers was cut by more than half. Hundreds of families have contacted them after having their funding slashed. Max's therapist says about half of his 200 clients have also lost funding. Linda Reynolds says there have been no cuts to the scheme.
that means that families with autism who were looked after by carers to feed and clothe and help them go to the bathroom, funding withdrawn. Why? Don't worry, they explain in a letter they sent. Caring for her son was not value for money. The next 7 months, we have nothing. We can't do anything. We can't go anywhere. We can't see anybody. We can't have normal lives anymore.
The single mum had to quit her job to look after her son with no funding for the next 7 months. She says Jared has been self-harming more without his carers.
Mentally, I'm not coping now, and I'm not going to be able to cope for another 7 months.
Don't give them the baby they've been trying to drown in the tub for years. Scott Morrison's voted consistently against corruption investigations. Why? What are you hiding? Do we really have to do this? The guy who votes against an investigation is fucking guilty. Anthony Albanese voted consistently for corruption investigations. Can we measure corruption?
Yeah, Transparency International's Corruption Index.
It rates our country on corruption, and the Liberal Party gave us the lowest score we've ever had. The most corrupt we've ever been.
I'm not trusting the party that made us more corrupt to tell me we don't need a corruption investigation. I'm voting Labour, and I'm putting the Liberals last. So was it good? Or was it cringe? I'm still not sure.